In the Northern Territory, greenhouses are being built by a not-for-profit group to improve access to fresh fruit and vegetables. It's good news for remote Indigenous communities where long distances and freight drive up the price of nutritious food. Landline's Christy O'Brien visited Catherine to see how food ladders work.
It's a green oasis in the middle of Catherine in the Northern Territory, where all kinds of people can find their own special place.
So being amongst the plants, and what's it feel like?
Like I'm in a different world. I'm just like, it's my own world. You know, I'm on a different planet.
Mark Cameron is the supervisor and maintenance man at Food Ladder. He loves it.
This is my pride and joy. I get stressed out when I'm not at work and worrying about my plants.
But it's been a fair journey to get here. He was looking at a life of crime and drug abuse when he started working in the garden as part of a Work for the Dole program. Started in 2010, Food Ladder isn't just a garden. The founders want the greenhouses to be hubs for training, education and employment. But importantly, it's about equality in food access.
I've got some veggies that I've been growing out at Rise.
Nice.
By providing remote and regional communities with hydroponic greenhouses and training, they hope to tackle health issues.
It's not easy to get stuff out there. If we look at 2 weeks to get produce to Catherine, you can nearly add another week to that to get that out to some of the communities.
And these are my little cherry tomatoes.
The result is a lack of fresh vegetables and fruit in many communities, leading to poorer diet choices.
One community that actually made all fruit and veg free for a month saw a 600% increase in consumption. So, it gets rid of that myth that people don't eat fresh fruit and vegetables. They do, they just want it to be fresh, they want it to be available and readily available and affordable too.
The greenhouses can be built anywhere, but it's not just a matter of building it and walking away. The key difference is ongoing support and horticultural guidance about growing, as well as access to cheaper seedlings and supplies.
We'll then stay connected with the community for as long as we need to. That can be through practical support on the ground, can be through phone a friend whenever there's an issue online, but we also have set up a huge knowledge sharing platform which is available to anyone who's got food ladder programs.
Communities can also use them to create economic opportunities and social enterprises, especially with the growing demand for native food.
All of our restaurants in Australia are wanting to get a hold of bush foods, as are companies doing health supplements and things like that. So one of the goals for here, I suppose, is to set it up as a bit of a hub for the area. So if communities do want to start doing wild harvest, they can bring it into here. We can do any processing, packaging of it and help them distribute that and just be a bit of a base for it.
Schools are relishing the opportunities offered in the greenhouses. Catherine High School kids have been coming every week as part of their schoolwork.
You've got to be really gentle to not break any leaves. Get in underneath, snip the bottom off it, down there, pick it upside down. If there's any old dirty leaves on them, we pick them off and then literally just sit it into there.
Across the road, the Kintore Special School used their Food Ladder project as an important teaching tool and outlet for the students.
The Food Ladder idea seems to be taking off. In addition to this one, they've also built greenhouses in Tennant Creek and Ali Karung, and there's plans for 6 more green hubs in schools across the Northern Territory.
Gently tip it upside.
I was horrified years ago when I heard a story of a kid who thought that potatoes came from the sea because they got fish and chips from the fish and chip shop. Through that, I think the education of trying to teach kids where our food comes from, how it's grown, and how easy it is to grow as well. We do a lot of education programs, including stuff linked in with NT farmers on paddock to plate type programs. And yeah, the kids' response to it is fantastic.
In Ali Karung, 847 kilometres south of Katherine, their greenhouse is used to gain tertiary qualifications.
We've got a variety of different programs we do with schools. Some of them are doing structured education programs. So we've got upper primary kids that are doing a Kids to Farms paddock to plate program, which is an industry-sponsored program. We've got Year 8 kids. They're doing some stuff around agribusiness and how to set up small businesses or social enterprise.
They're also a training hub for all kinds of groups.
We're working with corrections, we're working with juvenile justice, so a whole range of different programs that we have people coming through here for, even running workshops and things like that out of the site too.
Greenhouse production is 5 times faster than plants grown outdoors, which is an added bonus.
A lot of our leafy green type produce has travelled up from Adelaide or from Melbourne. Yeah, to be able to get, fresh leafy greens, fresh tomatoes, things like that into some of the local businesses, they're really loving the idea of it.
At this bush camp outside of town, the owner will use the fresh produce for tourists, for dinner under the stars.
Oh, wonderful, mate.
Some more bok choy, some more basil to keep your stocks up.
In a time when seedlings are snapped up for lockdown gardening projects, the Food Ladder organisers say it's promising that people are caring more about growing produce.
I think, to get more production happening, be it in backyards, parks, community gardens or anywhere is really important. And I think through things like COVID and lockdowns, it's really brought it to the forefront of how important it is to be able to grow food locally and grow stuff within your local community. Now, whether that's in a remote community, whether it's in a regional town or urban centre.
They just hope to continue to inspire change through the simple skill of growing food.
Yeah, I love it. And I love it when the kids come here and especially start picking my brand, Scotty brand, and asking questions.